Good morning, brothers and sisters and chickens.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Yes, you may eat. Good job. We gather in Adonai's name to live in Jesus' light.
And live in Jesus' light.
Yes, live in, yes. Good job. Now we're going to continue our story with Mark. We're still on chapter 4. We're on chapter 4. Okay, and we're going to read 26 until God tells me to stop. Okay, but before we do that, it seems out of nowhere last night, I learned, it was brought to my attention that the Greek word fonte, at least that's how Logos pronounces it, is the Greek word for manger. And there was a different word for a baby manger versus an animal manger. And the Greek word used was the word for an animal manger, which is what animals typically ate out of. And I learned that most of the time, these animal mangers were made out of carved stone or mud with straw, so it was a hard surface. And I thought that was interesting because we refer to Jesus as he is the rock. Jesus is the rock that we can either reject when we build, which will continue to keep us tripping, or he's the firm foundation that we can build on, that whatever we build on him will last an eternity. So I thought that was pretty neat. Okay. Parable of the seed. This is right after we learned yesterday how the thoughts that come to us are like seeds in our mind, the garden, which will grow.
Mama.
And
Mama.
How can we help you, dear?
Mama, I want my drink.
You want your drink? Okay, here you go. We ready? You're doing a good job. And he was saying, this is Jesus, the kingdom of God is like a man who casts seed upon the soil and goes to bed at night and gets up by day, and the seed sprouts up and grows. How he himself does not know. How he himself does not know. How the seed grows, we don't know. The soil produces crops by itself. First the blade, then the head, then the mature grain in the head. But when the crop permits, he immediately puts in the sickle because the harvest has come. Something that just came to me is Paul teaching, do not let the sun go down while you're angry. I think he's saying that, which fits in with Jesus' teachings. If you go to bed angry, those thoughts are the seeds that are going to grow in your garden, the mind, and you're going to see fruit the next day or a week later, however long, you're going to see fruit from that. Parable of the mustard seed. And he said, how shall we picture the kingdom of God, or by what parable shall we present it? It is like a mustard seed, which, when sown upon the soil, though it is smaller than all the seeds that are upon the soil, yet when it is sown, grows up and becomes larger than all the garden plants and forms large branches, so that the birds of the air can nest under its shade. Apparently that's an Old Testament verse. I don't know it. Do you know which Old Testament verse this refers to? You can let us know in the comments. And with many such parables, he was speaking the word to them as they were able to hear it. And he did not speak to them without a parable, but he was explaining everything privately to his own disciples. Jesus stills the sea. And on that day, when evening had come, he said to them, let us go over to the other side. And leaving the multitude, they took him along with them, just as he was, in the boat, and other boats were with him. And there arose a fierce gale of wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat so much that the boat was already filling up. And he himself was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they awoke him and said to him, Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing? And being aroused, he rebuked the wind and said to the sea, Hush, be still. And the wind died down, and it became perfectly calm. And he said to them, Why are you so timid? How is it that you have no faith? And they became very much afraid and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?"
Those are two different ones, by the way.
Yes.
You were talking about seeds, and then it started talking about the sea.
Right. So, well, if we fit that in, okay. So, as you can see, the seeds are thoughts that are planted in the mind, right? So, there were thoughts of fear planted in the disciples' minds, which grew to cause chaos in the sea.
Yes.
And Jesus had thoughts of peace, right?
Yes.
And his thoughts manifested as peace and calm, right? So that's what Jesus is teaching. Let your thoughts be of peace, and the outer world will manifest as peace. If your thoughts are of fear and trembling and scarcity, your outer world will manifest those things as well. So that's why we stay rooted in Jesus and his teachings. It's not our responsibility to make sure people are following the law. It's our responsibility to stay rooted in Jesus' teachings and let God the Father handle the rest. All right, we love you all.